So the Oscars happened. I already did a video the day before talking about how streaming and Conan O'Brien basically did not save the Oscars ratings wise, but that's not what this video is about. I'm pulling this from the Hollywood Reporter. Bill Maher says Anora beat out Emilia Perez at Oscars due to cancel culture. There are people who say cancel culture isn't a real thing, but I would say to them, it just happened at the Oscars. The host said on HBO's Real Time. Let's dig through this article, and then I will give my 2 cents at the very end to do a proper response. Bill Maher says cancel culture is absolutely a real thing, and he has proof. On the latest episode of HBO's Real Time, while chatting with author humorist David Sedaris, the host explained how cancel culture most recently impacted the 2025 Oscars, specifically with the controversy surrounding Emilia Perez and Karla Sofia Gascon. Quote, there are people who say cancel culture isn't a real thing, and I would say to them, it just happened at the Oscars, Maher said. You may not think it happened, but the movie that was going to win it all was Emilia Perez. The comedian noted that Hollywood loved the idea of making history and finally having a person who was a trans person win the Best Actress Oscar. God bless her, she did a great job, Maher added of Gascon's performance. While Gascon, the first ever openly transgender woman to be nominated in her category, was initially a frontrunner in the Oscars race for Best Actress, her chances quickly took a turn when offensive tweets from the actress resurfaced on social media at the end of January 2025. Following the scandal, Gascon kept a low profile, skipping the SAG Awards and Oscars red carpet. However, she did attend the Oscar ceremony on Sunday. On Real Time, Maher called Gascon's tweets, quote-unquote, a little childlike, adding, it was a little Kanye-esque, just whatever's on the brain comes out, referencing Kanye West's past hate-filled rants on X, formerly Twitter. I still say Twitter personally, but that's not really the point of this. Quote, just don't mention Hitler. I feel like it never comes out good, Maher said of Gascon's tweets. And then some things she said, which are just, oh yeah, you know what, I've said things like that. It's just very, very honest, but of course, the woke community, it was way too far. The host continued, quote, and this movie that was going to win it all, it was the front runner, and she was going to get all, suddenly was out to lunch, and good news for Anora, that's what happened. So yes, cancel culture is still with us, it may just be a little more subtle, end quote. Anora ultimately ended up being the big winner at the 2025 Oscars, taking home 5 wins, including Best Picture and Best Actress for star Mikey Madison. Emilia Perez earned 2 Oscars, including Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana and Best Original Song for El Mal. Following the Emilia Perez controversy, Gascon issued an apology at the time, writing, quote, I want to acknowledge the conversation around my past social media posts that have caused hurt. As someone in a marginalized community, I know this suffering all too well, and I'm deeply sorry to those I have caused pain. All my life, I have fought for a better world. I believe light will always triumph. I believe light will always triumph over darkness. End quote. The other guests featured on the latest episode of Real Time were Alyssa Farah Griffin and Senator John Tester. Now, the response to this is, would Emilia Perez have beat Anora for Best Picture? Okay, we can sit here and speculate all day long, go on and on for the next 30 minutes and talk ourselves in circles to end up at the exact same position that this whole debate of whether or not Emilia Perez would have beat Anora is just one big woulda, coulda, shoulda. Right, would it have happened? Maybe, but we're wasting our time arguing about it. Because personally, I never watched either Anora or Emilia Perez because, quite frankly, I just wasn't interested in either movie. Okay, I'm not going to watch movies that don't interest me at this point in some way, shape, or form. My opinion, life is way too short to be wasting your time on bullshit movies that you really don't care about. I don't care that Anora won Best Picture. Anora as a movie just never interested me. Same with Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez does not interest me. I don't care how many fucking awards it's won. Big whoop-de-fucking-do. Okay, but does Bill Maher have a point about cancel culture benefiting Anora over Emilia Perez? Yes, he actually does. Because he does make note here. Let me go back here. This paragraph right here. The comedian noted that Hollywood loved the idea of making history and finally having a person who is a trans person win the Best Actress Oscar. That's a good point to bring up. They always go on and on and on and on about being on the right side of history. So what better thing to do than award Karla Sofia Gascon the Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role, the first openly trans person to ever be nominated in the category. It's just more brownie points for the quote unquote Hollywood elite. But the problem is that the tweets came out and it's like, yeah, no, not this person. We're going to wait for the next person to come around. Again, if you're going to beat yourself up over this debate of would Emilia Perez have beat Anora at the Oscars, don't run yourself in circles. It's nothing but a big woulda, coulda, shoulda. And honestly, you're just wasting your time on this debate. But yes, in my opinion, Bill Maher has a point about how Anora benefited from the Emilia Perez cancel culture controversy.